The Devil Wears Prada is like the perfect story archetype of from nice girl to a woman, a grown woman, which we have Miranda. So I think her name is Andrea. Andy is like super nice girl, super sweet, super kind, very people pleasing. And then you have the far end of that, which is Miranda, the boss, who's like the super bitch, you know? And it's like you would think that these two women have nothing in common. And you have that assistant who's like the one in the middle, right? And so the Devil Wears Prada to me is like the perfect story, the perfect archetype of a girl, a woman who goes for a girl who transforms into a woman through her process of becoming what she knows that she is inside. She starts off, she's super sweet, she's super nice, she's very laid back. She doesn't take her appearance seriously. You know, she values her intelligence, she values the things that she's done in the past, she values her friendship, she values her family, and she's very like community oriented. She doesn't shine in her own way. Does she have her own shine to her? Yes, and that is where you can see her intelligence. That's where she decides to, I think she was going to be a lawyer first, and then she decides that she's going to do journalism. It even shows how your parents and like people who do support you will not support you. It covers almost like the whole gambit. It covers relationships, friendships, your parents' relationships, your outside social life and how that changes, and then like the internal and then the internal battle. It covers everything in The Devil Wears Prada. It's perfect. It was a perfect movie. So she starts off as this like docile woman, but she has a goal and she has a dream. And that's why she stepped out of law school to pursue that goal and that dream. You have the scene with her father. Her father comes and he's like giving her rent money. You know what I'm saying? He's like, here, you know, are you sure this is what you're supposed to be doing? You said you wanted to be doing journalism. You're in fashion. This is what you left, you know, law school for, to be like this lady's flunky, you know? And she's just like trying to do her best because she has her own drive. She has something that she wants to, excuse me, she has something that she wants to produce, that wants to come out of her, and she sees a lane for herself. She sees an opportunity for herself. Is it your most traditional? Is it the best moment for her? No, but she's also recognizing that this is her time, this is her opportunity, and she can make this happen. I also think a part of her is definitely looking for Miranda's approval because ultimately she can see Miranda in herself and her in Miranda, you know? And so she decides that she's going to take this job seriously because at first they're having this conversation and it's like, you know, you're not taking it serious. And she's like, what? I'm running around all over the city for you. I'm doing so much. What do you mean I'm not taking it serious? And they're like, I mean, first of all, look at how you dress. That brings in another piece. People are going to perceive you based off of how you present yourself. Like there's just no way around it. As much as we want to believe that it's our heart, as much as we were told, taught, programmed, conditions to believe that it's your heart, it's how nice you are, it's how intelligent you are, it's, you know, what you can do for people, or it's not what you know, but who you know. There's all of these things, but your presentation is like the number one thing. So Andy goes from a woman who is highly intelligent, highly capable, and can find her flow if you give her the time to find her flow, and nobody takes her seriously simply because of how she dresses and presents herself. Nobody will take the talent that she actually does possess seriously. They would actually want to hire somebody who has less talent, intelligence, knowledge, drive, ambition. They would want to hire somebody who has less of that simply for the look. And so that is what Miranda was going for this time. She's like, okay, we keep hiring the same person and they suck. So let's hire somebody who doesn't look like the norm and maybe they won't suck so bad. But then they have that conversation and she's like, you're not taking this serious. And so that was the moment where she really could have quit. She could have let go right then and there. And I'll try and insert some clips somehow. But she could have let go, especially after Miranda like super insulted her. Any other human in their right mind would have quit. But she had her own goal, she had her own mission, and she had something that she was going for. Many people in this moment would confuse that moment um with some sort of insecurity, some sort of trying to prove yourself, some sort of like, you know, allowing someone to kick you while you're down, like some sort of loser thing. But no, that was like the fire underneath her, because she knew that she had more that she could do. She had more that she could offer. She knew she had something here. You know what I mean? And so another scene that really stuck out to me was the boyfriend. Oh my God, the boyfriend. Looking back, when I was a kid, I don't know how I resonated with this movie. I don't know if I agreed with the boyfriend and the friends. I don't know who I agreed with back then. But as an adult, that boyfriend is so irritating, because the boyfriend was like lazy and complacent and was definitely like a let's lay around on the couch for the rest of our life type of man. You know what I mean? But Andy had this, she just had a different drive to her that just got activated when she got this job. Because I think in the beginning, she was totally down to be like a let's just couch potato it out. He was working at whatever little bar or something like that. He wasn't really taking his chef career seriously. He wasn't taking anything seriously. There's a scene in the beginning where Miranda gets the job, and they're like, not Miranda, Andy gets the job. And so they all go to the bar or whatever, and they celebrate, and they're like, to, adult jobs and adult paychecks, because we got adult bills now, right? And they all like cheers. And it's like this moment right before your life gets serious. You know what I'm saying? And her friends are another piece that we're going to tackle as well in this video. But right now, we're going to focus on that boyfriend. There was a task that she just didn't feel like she was going to get, and she just knew she was going to lose her job, and she just like had given up. And then, whatever the task was had ended up coming through eventually. So, but in that process of giving up, she calls her man and she's like, yeah, like, I quit. Like, I don't think that this is going to work for me. And he's like so supportive of her quitting. He's like, congratulations, word, so excited that she's going to let this go. And I don't want to like bash him, but I don't think that he understood. He didn't understand that dog in Andy. He did not understand the dog in her. And so he just wanted his nice, docile, unkempt girlfriend. Like, he really didn't even like her glow up. He didn't like the fashion look. And baby was giving looks. She was not giving like sleazy or anything like that. She was giving very classy, nice, cute, stylish looks. It even got to a point where she started styling herself. When they was like, who styled you? She was like, oh, it was me. She was finding her flow. She was finding her sauce. And he's like, at one point he says, I miss my old girlfriend. Are you crazy? And then we're in these young years. This is when you take the time to go for your career. Like, I'm always gonna be like, we're in a relationship, right? But we're in our early 20s, late 20s. Our frontal lobe has developed. Now is when we go for life. And this man is like, let's just chill. After y'all done already cheers to adult jobs because y'all got adult bills. So she calls him. She says that she's gonna quit. And when he gets home, by that time she had already like solved whatever she needed to solve and was keeping her job, right? Like, she had done great. And he comes home and he's like, comes home with like celebratory cupcakes or something. He comes home like all excited that this girl quit her job. He comes home excited that the girl quit her job. And then she's like, sorry, I didn't quit. And then he's like, a little deflated air balloon, like, oh my God, that was like so crazy to me, that boyfriend. And just how like he gave her no support when it came to like, hey, go for your dreams. You can handle this. You're bigger than this. You're bigger than what they're saying to you at work. You got this. You're a journalist. Show them that you're a journalist. He had no motivation. Like, it, in Andy's case, she needed like an athlete boyfriend who could let her know, like, hey, you're gonna bulldoze this obstacle. But he was not on her side. Nobody was on her side, to the point that they began villainizing her because she was working hard, she was working late, and she was changing, becoming more of a fashionista. However, everybody was also benefiting from that. Her boyfriend, whether he likes it or not, gets a hot girlfriend. Cut it out. Okay. He gets a hot girlfriend who can also help him pay the bills. Stop it. A benefit. Can't pay me to believe otherwise. Um, and then she had a best friend. Oh, don't get me started on the best friend either. The best friend, I don't know if that was, I don't know the backstory, if that was his best friend first, and then she got looped in because she was the girlfriend, because she was not giving me best friend vibes. When she's first starting to work for Miranda, everybody's like laughing, joking, you have this bridezilla boss, all of these things, but then she's bringing everybody, the cool things that she gets from her job. She brings that best friend. She brings her a like limited edition like Gucci bag or something like that she's so excited to have. And so everybody's like reaping the perks of all of this hard work that she's doing while she's trying to get to her dream. She's trying to get to this career, this lane that she sees for herself. Everybody is reaping the reward, but nobody is supporting her in that process. Everybody is making fun of her, thinking that it's a joke and basically telling her that she should quit, while they also are receiving the perks of all of the hard work that she's putting in and then giving her a hard time about it. Back to the best friend. When there's a scene where she is at a like art museum or something like that, the best friend is there. I think it's for the best friend. And she's there, she's looking at the art, and there's this like dude who's coming over. He's feeling her. We see him a couple times throughout the movie. He's the one who brings her the Harry Potter books and everything. He's feeling her throughout the movie. They have a conversation. He says something. It's kind of cute. It's kind of toasty. You can tell like there's an energy there, and then he kisses her on the cheek or something like that. And the best friend sees the kiss on the cheek. This is where the best friend lost me. Because if my homegirl, right, done had a glow up, she's here, she's doing her little art Basil thing, looking good. Some other fine man walks up to her, they're having a little tete-a-tete conversation that's looking really spicy. And then he leans over and gives her a kiss. I'm gonna go on the cheek. I'm gonna go and be like, excuse me, auntie, what is going on? Even if I know your boyfriend, even if your boyfriend is like my best friend is like, honey, what's that? See, what is going on? No, this best friend comes up to her and she's like, wow, really? You've really been feeling yourself ever since you got this new job and started dressing different. Well, go ahead and tell me how you feel. Go ahead and tell me how you feel while you're taking my Gucci purse, right? My limited edition Gucci purse that I gave you that I could have probably sold for a good couple racks that I just handed to you. I seen the jealousy immediately. That was jealousy 100%. Because just as a friend, you would go and inquire before you just start unleashing. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm bringing this up because this is showing how when you are a nice girl, a sweet girl, a docile girl, a girl who fell into the small version of yourself that people wanted you to be, and then you begin to recognize, hey, there's something more, and you begin to go for that and you begin to embody that, you would assume that the people that you love would be like, word, glowing up, you look great, you're beautiful, you're perfect. This is a true depiction of what the journey is actually like. You're actually very alone. Nobody understands. And the Devil Wears Prada just kind of expresses that so beautifully. She does have her work community. She has the new friend that she made at work, but even and then they're still not, fully the same. She has the other assistant that she's working with that like wants to be cold, but really she's like warming up to her. So, but the whole time she kind of like doesn't really have anybody to confide in besides that one friend who helps her do the revamp. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. So we've gone over the boyfriend, we've gone over the best friend, her father. Her father was like, what are you doing? Why are you dropping out of law school to do this? Like her father's not really believing in the dream or the vision either. And then she's like working like a slave. So nobody's really believing in the vision. The other assistant is like giving her a hard time. And so Miranda just decides to put her best foot forward and she goes and she does her thing and she proves herself time and time and time again. Not Miranda, I keep saying Miranda, Andy, to the point that Miranda sees herself in Andy, and then Andy takes that top spot, right? She's doing well, she's glowing, she's dressing herself, she's doing amazing in her job. This hot man is around her, she's keeping herself together. She's having a hard time with work-life balance, but also, again, this is this woman's like early 20s, maybe later 20s. I feel like your friends and family should understand the work-life balance thing. Like that was blowing me up. The boyfriend was, she forgot the birthday. Okay, that is a thing, but you make it up. Like the girl's working, she's not out partying, she's working. But they really just could not get with the fact that she was having a glow up while she was working. And sure, she was working for a horrible person and a horrible boss who was making her do horrible things, but she wanted to be there because there was an opportunity. Nobody could grasp her desire for the opportunity. It was crazy to me. And so as the story progresses, you just see her find more and more of her stride, find more and more of her style, and become more comfortable within herself and disappointing other people for her own gain while keeping it balanced. Because there's that scene where the guy tries to like convince her to come back inside after some gala with Miranda on her man's birthday. He tries to get her, convince her to come back inside so that they can talk about some editorial positions for her and meet some people and network. She decides, you know what? No, I have to go. I got to go be with my man. She goes to be with her man. Her man's not even happy that she came to be there with him. She could have been off getting networking for her new editorial positions and things. But I digress, right? So she's still trying, like she's trying to manage these relationships. Nobody is helping her manage these relationships. Nobody is seeing what she's doing. Nobody is seeing who she's becoming. Nobody is supporting her. This girl built herself brick by brick, okay? Brick by brick. She built that by herself because wasn't nobody in the gym shooting with her. Nobody was in the gym shooting with her besides maybe that one friend who was working there who was excited just to have a makeover moment. You know what I mean? And so I love how the story develops at the end where Miranda's like, yeah, looks like you are more like me than you actually thought. And she makes this sovereign choice. And like that's really the piece right there. It's you see this the story of a girl who turns into a woman, who turns into a sovereign woman, because the other women around her who are in that industry, like the assistant, these women would have done anything to be in her position. That other assistant would have seen some shady things go down and she just would have been with it, and it would have been like, oh, well, that's what it takes to be in this industry. And Andy was very adamant on, she knew who she was. She had a glow up. She got what she needed. She extracted what she needed from this position, from this hardship, from this challenge. She became a better version of herself and she never lost herself through the entire process, to the point that she ends up having to walk away from Miranda as well. She literally just walks with like the power that would have taken because nobody else would have walked away from her. It's such a beautiful story arc. It's such a beautiful story arc because even the person who she was trying so hard to impress, when she realized you're not even worth it, bro. Like, this is not who I want to be. Baby hopped herself up out of that limousine and went on her way. She still got that dog in her. She still has that ambition, and she knows when her road has ended. She needs no hand holding. She needs no one to confirm her. She doesn't need to call 6,000 people and have a conversation with them. She doesn't need to call her boyfriend, which by then I think the relationship had ended. And she kind of just really owns herself, owns her power, and owns the woman that she is, owns the work that she has done, and owns the quality of human being that she is going to uphold. It's such a beautiful story. And I feel like for the girls who are going through this process of shedding this conditioned niceness, this conditioned smallness, watch The Devil Wears Prada with a new set of eyes, because it gives you a sort of roadmap on what to expect and how to stay within yourself through all of the chaos that ensues. So then ultimately, she ends up finding herself an editorial position. She ends up earning the respect like none other from Miranda, which sidebar, I can't wait for the second one. She ends up earning the respect of Miranda to the point that she gives her a good recommendation for her new position. So she actually does get to where it is that she's trying to go. She keeps her sense of style, so she's still cute. She goes back and she apologizes to that man. I could not believe that she was apologizing to him, because ultimately, the dog in her, the ambition in her, her drive ended up causing him to be more ambitious himself, because then he went and he where did he go? He went to Atlanta, not Atlanta. He went to Boston and got like this, like a prestigious sous chef position, which he could have been doing. He just was sitting around doing nothing, working at that bar, and he was cool with that. He was cool with checking peanuts, but then it was something about her drive that was bothering him that eventually when that relationship ended, he went and decided to, okay, let me go do what it is that I'm trying to do as well. You know what I'm saying? So then he finally got on his career thing as well. So all of this lack of support that she was getting from her man, that she was getting from her best friend, from her parents, everybody ends up eating their words. And the only way that you can apply that to your life is you have to stay so in the pocket with yourself. Andy stayed so in the pocket with herself. It was incredible. You have to have that intuition, you have to have that knowing, you have to have that drive. You really have to be in your body and listen to turn when it says turn, stop when it says stop, go when it says go. Because just from the layout of that movie, you know that friends will not understand, spouse will not understand, family will not understand, coworkers will not understand. There's a part of your life that your community cannot build. There's a part of your story, there's a part of the woman that you're becoming that your community cannot build, and sometimes it can't even support. And you have to know how to not let that slow you down. You have to know how to not take that personally. And you have to know how to not let that stop you. And that's one thing that you can definitely learn from Andy and the Wears Prada. Though she's going through these challenges in these relationships, she's hitting the marks at work and she's still going. And she knew when to press the brakes so she doesn't turn into a Miranda. You know what I mean? So she's chiseling something different out in her life. So I'm very excited to see where they go with this on the second one. But let me know what you guys think about this. I'll try to insert the clips of the actual movie and places that I'm talking about. I hope I didn't forget any key points. Um, One last key point that I really loved is when she does get the makeover, she never she never says like, look at me, right? She's never necessarily looking for people to see her. She's happy with how she looks, and so she's like, it's almost like an extra burden was taken off of her shoulders. Before, where she didn't care how she looked and she was more unaware, now she's aware of how she looked and she doesn't, and it almost seemed like it was a sense of freedom with her to go even harder, to go even faster, to be even more dedicated, right? To accept these challenges and know that she can provide them, and to have empathy and to still be the person that she is. Like, even when she caught Miranda crying going through that divorce, the other assistant would have just been like a weirdo, you know what I'm saying? But she crossed the boundary and showed humility and personhood. Granted, Miranda couldn't receive it, but I just love all of these moments where she's doing the thing, she's taking the stride, and she is conforming in a bit. She's conforming with the tasks that are required of her. She's conforming with the looks that she's wearing. She is conforming by the less time that she's spending with friends and family and not listening to them. She's conforming to a whole new world. But while she's doing that, she's making sure that she's keeping herself the entire time so that her old world with the friends and family and her new world with career and positioning and boss and all that, none of these things are actually the operant power over her in her life. She is, and that's why she is making the decisions that she's making, and pushing in where she needs to and pulling back where she needs to. And it gives her like a pep in her step. I feel like it gives her a pep in her step. She doesn't lose herself ethically. She doesn't lose herself morally. She just becomes better and better and better and better and better, and nothing new or old is holding her. So I don't know, that movie like really inspired me. And especially because I was like, I can see how people turn into a Miranda. I can see how people would just become so like impatient with others and insufferable and just like difficult. You know what I mean? Because most people are just tapped out, honey. Just tapped out. But the Devil Wears Prada comes in to kind of show you like it's in the choices that you make and the decisions that you make about who you're going to be, and are you intentional about who you're going to be. So that is my breakdown of the Devil Wears Prada and how it is the perfect archetype or story arc of the nice girl who's owning herself as a woman and who's kind of like moving into her villain era only because people are villainizing her for going after her dreams and prioritizing her beauty. So that's what I have for you. Please comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any other movies that you want me to like look into that you see weird things because I would. That's like my favorite pastime. I was just watching Sleeping Beauty today because I'm like, wait a minute, Sleeping Beauty. I was having a whole moment, so I was watching Sleeping Beauty. But I love breaking down these movies. So let me know if you're interested in anything else, and I will watch it and post it for you. Thank you so much for your attention today.